So here we are, episode 28, and I'm pleased to have Noahfriends in the studio. Say what up, dude.
How's it going, everyone?
We've been working on some music recently. Go ahead and let our listeners know a little bit about yourself. First off, like plug your socials. Let's get that.
So my name is Noahfriends, or I go by the name Noahfriends. You can find me on Instagram. It's where I spend probably most of my time. It's official Noahfriends. You can find me on Spotify under Noahfriends.
Noah, like Noah.
Noah, capital Friends. Noahfriends.
Noahfriends.
Got SoundCloud there as well. There's some stuff on there that can probably never be released, but a little extra content on there on SoundCloud. But yeah, I just like to produce and collaborate.
And DJ. So
yeah.
We met, I'm pretty sure at Purple Buffalo, and we were on the same lineup. I couldn't even tell you what show exactly it was, but there's been numerous, like that's why. But yeah, I think we first met at Purple Buffalo, just, said what up, saw that you were a DJ, saw you were doing some house stuff, I dug it. And the more we just sort of kept on seeing each other, we were just like, you know what, like let's just do a track or something. Let's kick it, let's collaborate. And so that track's now coming out on
the 4th.
The 4th of July, next Tuesday,
yeah. It's a perfect track for the summer. Has a very mellow, low-key, summery vibe to it. I feel like it will do great during the summer. It's just, that's all the sensation I get from it. So I think, I hope more so that it feeds you all summer, and you can enjoy it as much as we did making it.
Amen. Yeah, that was well described. Yeah, it's like a house style track. It's pretty sure 120 BPMs.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's called Back to the Basics. Nice, funky, low key. Y'all stay posted. We'll be promoting it here soon. So just had to plug that.
Yeah, I got to.
And we're working on another one too. And this next one is a little funkier in the sense of just like, it's a little quirkier. Where this next one's kind of coming out like a little like almost like tech style, but like techno-y almost, but still like I could see it like main stage type vibe, just like Dirty Bird kind of classic style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It definitely has a darker tone to it, but definitely brings the energy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so dude, I like to break down the podcast into like about like a past, present, future sense of like who you are, where you came from, what you're doing now, what you want to do in the future. So how did you, like, what music did your parents raise you on? What did they listen to? Like, what was your first memories of listening to music, and what made you get enthralled?
Well, my parents always had music playing. It's we grew up in a household with constant music. My dad was more of the musician. My mom was more the athlete.
Okay. Your dad was a musician.
Yeah, that man's something else. He can literally just pick up an instrument and learn it like that. So he knows how to play like well over 20 instruments.
Dang, say what? That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my mom being an athlete and my father being a musician, each of us had to grow up playing one instrument and one sport until we were 18. So in that, whenever we would play an instrument or pick up an instrument, our dad would learn it with us.
Whoa. So which one did you pick up first?
So first, I started off with drums.
Ooh, lucky.
Yeah. Fortunately, my one of my older brothers, Paul, he started with drums as well. So I didn't have to break the decibel levels early. Everyone else
Yeah,
had
exactly.
a chance to do it.
It's the loudest instrument to have in a house.
I mean, the kick was absolutely mutilated. It was kicked out and filled with pillows to dampen the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that bass drum.
Yeah.
Kick drum.
But in middle school, everyone had to learn piano.
Yeah.
At the middle school. So I noticed I kind of had a knack for that as well. So then I started taking piano lessons. But basically, it was just really those two.
Like, what bands did you first listen to? Was it like classic rock or?
My mom, certainly. My mom is a fiend for Aerosmith, AC/DC, Rolling Stones. My dad is more of like he was originally a bass guitarist and upright bass.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has more that rhythm down low kind of thing. So he gravitated more towards like Parliament Funkadelic and like the Beatles and like
Nice.
Cars. What else? Oh, my mom my mom's not just solely classic rock. She'll still enjoy stuff like Benny King, and we always had like James Brown, Commodores would play. So it was all sorts of music. Even Frank Sinatra, occasionally Dean Martin, the Rat Pack. But yeah, music was all over the place. And then I would pick up a lot from my older siblings. Being the youngest, I would always listen to what they would play.
I know, right? Little puppy coming in.
It's hard to say no to dogs.
I know it is.
But they would bring in stuff like Godsmack, Creed, Notorious B.I.G. My sister would bring in as what you can imagine, and some of what you can't imagine. So she'd bring in stuff like Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, but then she'd also bring in like Good Charlotte and
Oh my God! Right when Good Charlotte, that's when I forgot about Good Charlotte. Like, what was it? This is the anthem. Throw all your hands up,
yeah.
And then like stars of the rich and the famous. You're always complaining. Always complaining.
We're going to this. We'll go full-fledged. But yeah, Sublime. So like the music we listen to as a family really, really spans. A lot of my family is never really going to say no to a style or a genre. They'll be open to hearing it and like listen to it, play it on their own time.
That's cool, dude. Like, it's pretty similar. Like, my sister would bring in some new influences that were more modern, like, yeah, things like what you were saying. And also, she was super heavy into rap and, like, 311 even, I remember.
Brothers are big in 311.
Yo.
The soundtrack to my childhood is probably Amber. You would hear that constantly.
Yeah. Amber is the color of your energy. Whoa. Oh my gosh, that's good, man. So then you were playing drums by like what age?
That was probably like 4th, 5th grade maybe. It was young. One of the first songs I learned was Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones. I still know it by heart. The snare tom. Doom, 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 doom.
Dang, I don't even know that one.
Oh,
I know Rolling Stones, but that's so cool. 4th or 5th grade. That's rather early, dude.
Yeah.
Do you still play drums?
No, I don't have a set, so I have no way of practicing, but I could, give me like a few weeks, I could pull it back together, bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
But it helps with the production. I got the basis of what I need. I got piano and I got drums, so with technology now, you can go anywhere with it.
Exactly. No, I'm with it, dude. That's something I didn't know, man. That's cool, dude. You got maybe even just get like an electronic kit, so it's just like you can rock out in your house in the headphones without disturbing others, but that's what's up. And then, so when did you start DJing?
I was in college.
So how old are you right now again?
I'm 28.
So you're 28 now, and then so you started DJing in college at like
freshman year. My
how old were you when you started going? Like 18?
I was 18, yeah. I was just about 18. My buddy down the hall, by the name of Mark, he had some tractor S4.
OG.
Oh yeah. And so like I'd stop by and like I never really knew anything about it. I had heard of DJs. My idea of DJing was always pictured scratch DJs.
Yeah, right.
So I never really put two and two together, and basically I would just go over there and mess around, and he was like, hey man, like you kind of have like a natural ability for this. And I was like, you think? And so with the opportunity, I played soccer in college, and with that opportunity, the soccer house would throw parties, and so I got us to go in there and DJ.
Hey.
So we would split the DJ nights with another guy named Endu, and so our nights would be more like electronic, while his nights would be more like dance hall. So like my nights off, I got to enjoy dance hall, which that's kind of where a lot of my appreciation and love for dance hall came from. Is on my nights that I would enjoy and party and dance, it would be to that style of music.
Insane. I didn't know about dance hall 10 years ago, dude.
I was hearing all the stuff, everything from Popcorn to Idiona to Beanie Man, Elephant Man, what's his name? DeMarco, but yeah.
Good, dude. That's crazy, man. I wish I got into DJing like that early, but it was different back when I was in college. Like I went into college at like 2008, and it just wasn't like that big of a thing at that point. It was like Girl Talk was the first DJ I heard about in college. I don't know if you remember Girl Talk.
I do.
Yeah.
One of my favorite albums is Feed the Animals.
Dude, see, you know what's up, man. Girl Talk was like that dude that was like way ahead of his time, and like still there's nobody quite like him that's like came ever since. Like ultimately mashing up everything that you could imagine under the sun, like all your classic rock, classic like hip hop, like that 90s style hip hop with like the Beatles, or like
sounds of the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, you name it. Like all of his songs are pretty much constructed as like a mashup of sorts.
Yeah,
like
beautifully done.
I don't know how he was able to do it with all the legal rights behind it, but
I think that's how he got away with it with that Feed the Animals, because he never technically sold it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he
just streamed it.
Kind of. So he had a website that was like, pay whatever you want. Type in whatever you want to pay for this album. All of it is going to go to shelters to feed animals.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's why it's called Feed the Animals. So you could go in there and type in $0.00 and download the whole album. You could go in there, type in 100, and for what we know, it's donated to Feed the Animals.
Wow. That's amazing, man. What? He's so much cooler now in hindsight, even though he was like, he's always just been super cool to me just because like how eclectic his whole style is. Like y'all would have to, if y'all haven't heard of Girl Talk, this thing's bugging out on me.
Yeah.
If y'all haven't, I guess, if y'all haven't heard of Girl Talk, literally, it's the last time I'll say it.
Put it in the search bar.
This thing's bugging. Sorry, y'all, technical difficulties with our extra peripheral light, but yeah, dude. Man, so then you going from college to where you are now. Like, describe what happened in that time frame.
So, in college, I got a bunch of DJing done. Got a lot of hours behind it. I certainly wanted to make my own music, and I tried making my first song, and it was, knowing nothing about music production, it was a very interesting step I took. Machine by Native Instrument?
Mm-hmm, I do know Machine.
So I created essentially like 6 30-second parts.
Okay.
To what would be a full song, and then I exported those and then would try to transition the whole song from, so hit record on Tractor, and then record the first 30 seconds, transition into the second 30 seconds, the third, until it was a full song.
So it's like you're technically like playing the song live, but you're like arranging it on the spot.
Mm-hmm. And it, as you can imagine, didn't come out fantastic. That was my first take, but then started doing my own research upon graduating. Did research on like everything from DAWs to stuff like that, and equipment, and find the best thing I could do to start off, and basically invested in Ableton. Got a couple JBL monitors.
Okay.
Had a laptop, and it's all I really needed right then and there.
When was that? When you got Ableton? Shout out Ableton, by the way.
Ableton, my favorite. That was 2017.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was like right after I graduated college, and I was producing under a different name. There's a lot of raw stuff out there. Some of the stuff ain't bad, but a lot of it you can certainly see where it's like these are the beginnings, and like they're not there.
I know, dude. Like if we were to just go back and listen to all of our first demos, just like, what was I thinking?
Yeah,
it sounds like I made this in Microsoft Paint.
Literally. So basically started then, and then I've just always been trying to learn as much as I can, and still am. I that's why I certainly like collaborating with people, is because like there's always something that you can learn from someone, and that goes well beyond outside music. That's just, it doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, what position they're in, they can teach you something.
Yeah. I agree. On collaborating, it's the way to go, and I encourage everybody out there to push to collaborate with friends, and you will learn something, and it's one of the most hands-on way to learn at that rate. And so, I think that's the nature of music, people coming together and making a project musically. Mm-hmm. And then it turned into one person making music over time, but then now we're getting back to collaborating. You know what I'm saying? Like, it went from having to need to be in a band to like then you could do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you still got to collaborate with others. Yeah,
I mean, there's always been singles, but even then they'd work up together and do things.
Yeah. All right, so that's cool, man. I love that you know Ableton, and that we're able to work on a track seamlessly in that digital audio workshop, where it's like, it's not like you're using like Fruity Loops or Logic. Instead, yeah, it's don't get me wrong, I don't have anything against those DAWs, but yeah, it makes it, so much easier for us to collaborate.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, all those other DAWs do bring something else to the table. They shine in their own certain ways. I am a very simplistic person, so that's kind of why I like Ableton, because it's not shiny, it's not fancy. It just allows you to do what you need to do. And with us both doing that, it makes the collaboration so much easier. It wouldn't be difficult outside of it. Don't want to get technical, but like it certainly makes it smooth when two people are familiar with the same system. they can literally just hop in and off and not waste time being like, oh, where's this? Where's that?
Yeah, it can be frustrating. Ableton's pretty much the way to go for producers like us. I want to just ask some off the wall questions, like for us to be able to like rapid fire random questions. And I was like, which should be the first random question I ask you? Something pretty easy, like what's your least favorite food and why? Like what grosses you out?
I don't like sweet potatoes or yams.
Okay, that's messed up. What?
I don't know. They rub me the wrong way. They're just too sweet.
No.
That's coming from someone who eats a lot of stuff. I am open to trying everything, but just something about them. I don't like the flavor. I'm not really a sweets person to begin with. I'm more of like a bittersweet. I like chocolate, coffee. I like these bitter taste. I'll drink fruity drinks, but when it comes to like caramels and that kind of flavor, not really a massive fan of it.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not really a fan of sweets, but like the way that I always forget that like yams are like canned sweet potatoes, and that I never grew up like eating yams at all. Like I still don't even know if I've tried a canned, like why is a canned sweet potato called a yam?
Oh, they're two different things.
Well, I thought that's
a yam is a different fruit or vegetable. It's
Are you sure?
A vegetable. It's a starch. I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, because yams come in different ways. Like I do like the ube yam, which is a purple yam from the Philippines, because it has more like vanilla taste than like caramel.
Oh my gosh. It reminds me, have you heard of yucca?
Yeah.
You like yucca? Like fried yucca? It's kind of like a potato, but you're like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, well, enough about
Yeah.
Freaking
On to the next one.
What do you want to, what's something off the wall you got for me?
Okay. Who's the first person you saw in concert?
First person I saw in concert was Styx.
Really?
So there used
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's random.
That's amazing.
I know, I was such a classic rockhead growing up that I was like obsessed with Styx. Like literally like too much for a kid of my age to be obsessed with Styx. And they played at this place in Charleston called the Plex. It's in North Charleston, but it's no longer there. Like it was just like this random like venue, and Styx of all bands, STYX. Y'all go and check that out, man. Like they're
You might recognize Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, that's like probably the most stereotypical song like from the like Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
We should do a
my God.
remix of that.
And that was like the least listened to song from them by me. Like I don't know, something about like the blown up tracks from artists that I just want to steer clear from. Like it seems cliche to listen to, and like that's the least interesting one to me. Just it's a weird psychology thing.
No, I get it. I personally enjoy getting full records of whether they're from just like no names or like big names, but records that you might not know about, and just listening through it and being like, I don't know how this song didn't climb the charts, because like this is a ballad, this is a track, this is a tune.
Seriously, you never know, man. That's just like the way that the music industry works. Sometimes the one that they blow up off the most is like just the one that least represents their true style. Oh my God. So what was I gonna ask you? What's the most, oh my gosh, what's a vulnerable question I can ask you? What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you?
I mean, there's a lot.
But what do you think? It's like, now thinking of the question, I'm like, what is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me? But like,
I mean, first thing that pops in my head, I was maybe, I don't know how old I was, but it was when the first Nintendo DS came out. Rave.
All right, you know what? This thing doesn't want to cooperate. It's fine.
Swap it out.
This one's almost dead too. But all right, so wait, something that's embarrassing that happened to you. It was when the DS,
the first Nintendo DS came out, and I was in a Best Buy, and I had recently grabbed from the music section a D12 album, and I was holding it, and then I got distracted by the Nintendo DS because of an opportunity to play on the free ones that they set up at the Best Buy was still there, and it was open, so I started playing, and I had to pee, but you know, I'm never gonna get this opportunity again.
This is not about to be. Like...
And then I peed my pants, and then I ran to the bathroom, and shortly after, a Best Buy like worker comes in, knocks. Is everything okay in there? Yeah. No. Can you get my mom? I peed my pants. Okay. What's your name? Noah. Okay. So they run out there and they go get my mom. And
oh my God.
Later on, I just vividly remember her telling me, yeah, the reason they went in there is because they thought you were stealing the CD. Because a lot of people would go into bathrooms, rip off the tags and stick the CD in their pocket and go out with it. And I was like, okay, I guess.
That's such a good story, dude.
I know what I was wearing that day. My mom used to work at a college, and I was wearing the college sweatpants.
Oh my God! Because if you're about to say khaki pants or something, that's like the
nope,
worst.
They're gray sweatpants. Yeah, the worst thing you could wear. The worst thing you could wear.
Oh my God, dude! Me and Tesla want to do this prank where it's like. Oh my gosh! Never mind.
Don't want to give it away.
Yeah. But it pretty much has to do with peeing yourself and wearing khakis. But
unfazed.
Oh my gosh! What's a random question you can shoot me?
Okay. If someone came up to you and was like, "Hey, I have tickets to see insert name," what is the first thing that pops up where you would, the VIP passes, get to meet the person, everything, insert name, that you would go, no, I'm not going?
That I would go, no, I'm not going?
Yes. All inclusive, they fly you out, you stay in hotels, you meet the person, free tickets, backstage. You say, no, I'm not even gonna do that.
Oh my God, that took such a turn because I was starting to think of people that I would go see, that I wouldn't go see, that it would be all inclusive. Maybe somebody canceled like Bass Nectar, yeah. Like
reasonable.
Or who else is, or Dat Sick, you know? Yeah. Like he's another one of those like pretty much canceled type cats, or like Louis C.K. Like VIP, really?
Yeah, it's like that. Well, that's a lot of emphasis on P.
I know, exactly.
R. Kelly.
Oh my God!
I heard he's tearing it up in the prisons.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I heard he's just putting on show after show. Everyone was like, he's gonna be screwed when he gets to the prisons, and everyone was like, hey, can you just perform for us?
So like, let's hit the showers real quick, actually, guys. The golden showers. Oh my gosh!
All right, so what's your question?
Man, let me ask you something a little bit like more appropriate. Like then.
Sorry,
I have a very... No, then like the ones I've been asking, where I'm like asking you to put yourself out there, like.
Oh, I don't care.
My gosh, because it was funny. I asked TJ the other day what his most irrational fear was, and that was a pretty funny segment. Mm-hmm. What do you think your most irrational fear is? Irrational fear? Yeah, like mine stepping on a frog at night barefoot.
Ew. That's a good question. Irrational fear.
Yeah, what's your most irrational fear?
I don't know. I saw a video the other day of an orca literally just snatching a man off the coast. Like, almost looked like it was going to breach, snagged the man and went off.
Like a whale just shimmied his way from the ocean to the beach sand.
Yeah.
Like almost deserted himself, but just enough to be able to wiggle back into the ocean.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's
I don't
so
know if the video was
messed up.
real, but it was like, okay, well, that's a new fear. Like, I didn't think that was a possibility.
Like you're just casually chilling on the beach.
Yeah, just strolling ankle deep in the water, and then just an orca just and then pulls you back in.
Oh
like,
my
I get jellyfish
God.
and whatnot and shark, but
Yeah, that's a new fear unlocked.
I was like, that's a possibility I didn't think of.
Another reason that I will now avoid the beach, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be cool with the beach. I used to like surfing. Now I'm just like, there's too many things that can happen. I'm like, back then it was like when you're too young to like be afraid of things. Now I'm like, dude.
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know, the less you go to the beach.
Yeah. Literally. My girlfriend had recently been fully wrapped in, it was more so last year, but a jellyfish.
Oh,
and now
God,
she's like wrapped around the leg all the way up. Terrible experience all around with that. Went to the beach for like the first time since then, and she was just like standing near the edge. She's like, I don't know if I want to go in. I was like, I'll give it a try, and I ran out there, and there was just a shell graveyard of massive like shards of shells. I was like, it's not worth it. I was like, we'll just get a pool.
Seriously, dude. Oh my God. And yet all these people still go to the beach willy-nilly.
Mm-hmm.
God. Oh, rapid fire.
Okay.
Is it your turn to ask me now?
Yeah. Would you rather be naive or ignorant?
Oh my God. What a heady question. I would rather be naive because ignorance isn't really bliss. It's got a little different connotation to it than naivety. Like naive, you just literally don't know better. Whereas ignorant, it's like you know the difference, but you're just like
don't believe it.
But it's kind of assholey.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be ignorant to say, oh, I know my roommates don't want me to play music at this hour. It's so loud. Like, say it's like 4 a.m. and I'm just gonna be ignorant and just fucking bump that shit. And versus if I literally didn't even know that they
were here.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, like, or that it bothered them. Like, yeah, so that one that's interesting. Yeah, it definitely, because they're so close together, naiveness and like ignorance, seemingly in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay. So, would you rather break an arm or a leg?
A leg.
A leg?
Yeah.
Which one? Your left one or your right one?
I have to choose?
I guess.
I mean, maybe my right. I'm left-footed, so...
Oh, really? You're left-footed?
Mm-hmm.
That's
right-handed,
different.
left-footed.
That's weird.
Yeah. Not a balanced person. Yeah, because, I mean, I could do it with one hand, but, like, I want all phalanges and fingers and hands to be able to continue to work on music.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't really have to walk to work on music. I'm at that point. Ask me 10 years ago, I probably would have said an arm.
Yeah, dude. Both of them, like, just cringed me. Like, I haven't broken a bone, knock on wood. But still, like... Ugh. Have you broken a bone?
Not... I mean, I technically broke it, but I broke my nose. It's not a bone either.
You serious? That's not a bone? There's no bone?
No, it's cartilage.
All of that's cartilage?
All of it's cartilage. Yeah, got elbowed in the face going up for a header.
Going up for a header? Like, you were, like... during soccer?
Yeah, I was competing for a header, and they just went across with the bow and just. Yeah. Yeah, certainly had a lot of injuries.
Doesn't look like you broke your nose, so.
No, it's fantastic. I'll take that.
Yeah, just to let you know in case you're self-conscious.
No. Yeah, I've accepted. I'm not self-conscious about scars or anything. I see them as like tattoos or another story.
Yeah, scars are pretty cool to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what's your gnarliest scar?
I have one here that was severed on a glass. I was cleaning the inside of a glass.
Dude, me too.
Really?
Are you serious? Wait. Hold on. Right there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the same spot.
It is the same spot.
Bro, it was like a wine glass.
Yeah. This was like a square glass and just the corner chipped off, and it was like a mandolin, like a deli slicing, just almost hit the, like, got tendon. I still have the pictures. Stitched up.
What are the odds that we both... Dude,
same
I didn't have to...
spot.
Seriously, same
Do you
exact spot.
have a freckle, like, on the inside of your arm?
I mean, it's kind
of covered.
It's covered.
Apparently all males have a freckle on that, and then all females have, like, a freckle on their right wrist.
On their right wrist?
Yeah.
I got a freckle, like, right there. And then... What's that?
Oh, that's a scab.
Oh.
It's a scab.
I've got a freckle right there.
I don't know. It was someone on TikTok. Don't believe everything.
On TikTok. Oh my god. Dude, if it happened on TikTok, it's real.
It's real, dude.
I believe it.
Reality is what you perceive.
TikTok is reality.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. That'd probably be the crazy. I mean, I did that. I shifted my hips once. I, again, went up for a header, but this time my legs got swept out and I fell on like a hardwood floor. And my pelvis shifted where, like, when I was laying down, my feet looked like that. Like they were.
Oh, like, no. Like your hip really got, like,
so, like,
turned
it looked
around.
like that. And then.
Dude, what?
Fortunately, my coach at the time, this is probably like 6th grade.
Oh my god, dude, I would be
7th grade.
Traumatized.
He was a physical therapist and, like, on the spot shifted my hips back. But since then had hip flexor problems.
Oh, I'm so sorry, dude. That hurts me on the inside to hear.
Yeah.
Sheesh, man.
Oh well, everything cracks now.
Yeah. Oh, you have a random question for me still?
Yeah. I mean, you are a person that plays many instruments. What was the first one you learned?
Probably the recorder in the 4th grade.
That doesn't count.
It counts. It's an instrument. Yeah, no. Like, all y'all, I know recorder is, like, the least legit instrument.
I'm just saying it doesn't count because everyone learned recorder.
I know. 4th grade, it's the most annoying instrument ever. Like, I feel bad for my parents. And all parents, when their kid is in middle school, it's like
Forever Shaka.
Like it's like Squidward degenerated.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
They go to pitch the clarinet, and that would have been a better. It's just, yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's like what's the most affordable instrument to manufacture? Let's just make that one the.
They gave you that cleaner that you never used. You never cleaned it.
It's all just fucking dried spit.
Yeah, you're like, stick this in occasionally. Just put some. It's like,
like I'm barely even gonna touch that thing. Oh my god! But after that, I played guitar. Was my first instrument.
Okay.
And it was when I turned 13. I got it for my 13th birthday because my next door neighbor at the time had a guitar, and I was mesmerized by it. Like, out of all the music that I listened to, I didn't really know what sound the guitar actually was. Like, you would play a song for me and be like, hey, pick out, like, the guitar in this, which melody out of this song is the guitar. I probably couldn't have told you. And then I found it at my friend's house. He was playing it. Boom. I was intrigued. First riff I learned too, I can't forget it. It was Bad Boys for Life.
Really?
It was like looked up like the tabs on the internet. It was like bam 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 bum bum bam bam bum 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 bam bum 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 bam bum. I can't forget it. That was the very first riff I learned, and it sounded so bad. I could not play it that well at all, obviously, but like, yeah. So then, if you could listen to one album only for the rest of your life, who? Discovery?
By Daft Punk.
By Daft Punk. Wow, that was such a quick answer.
Yeah, it was the first album I ever bought, and I listened to it. I could listen to it from start to finish, constantly. I did.
What's the big one on there?
It was most known for One More Time.
Oh, that was
the single that released of it. But then Harder, Stronger, Faster, Better's on there. Crescent Dolls, Face to Face.
Dang.
Vetus Quo. Super underrated one, Digital Love. I love that song.
Dude, see, I know some of those songs. Like, I knew the first few.
Aerodynamic.
I don't know that one.
That follows One More Time. One More Time's opening, then Aerodynamic comes on, and that's the full just guitar.
Huh. See, I'm upset that I haven't listened to more Daft Punk, because I really like Daft Punk. Don't get me, like, it's a good style that meshes with my, like, the way I feel a lot of the times, like that electro, disco-y, funky. Mm-hmm. And it's a shame. I need to go ahead and just listen to more.
Here, I'll do you better. Watch the visual album of Discovery. That way you get to hear all of it.
Visualizer?
Yep, it's an anime shot in the film of anime. So essentially it's about this band that exists interstellarly. And they have like blue skin and whatnot. And these this corporation from the United States wants to make money off of them, so they hire these people to go kidnap them, take them, transform them, paint their skin to be human. Oddly, they're all white. And then basically make money off them in the United States, or not the United States.
That's so funny, dude. How come I haven't heard of that, dude?
It's a great visual album.
So instead of like an individual song having a music video, they just did the whole album.
Yeah, so every single song has a music video, and they each tell a different part of the story.
Dang, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't bands do that anymore or anything like that?
A lot do.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's hard to come by. Beyonce's done them. Jeanette Monáe, I watched one. I was like, I couldn't tell you what it was, but it was like 4 a.m. I'd gotten back from like work, and like it was on TV, and it pulled me right in. I love visual albums.
Dang,
love visual albums.
That's good to hear. Quick follow-up question: what's your least favorite kind of music, or even least favorite artist? Go ahead, call them out.
Probably country.
Yeah,
I listen to some country. Like I'll enjoy occasional song. I love classic Johnny Cash, but like any of like pop country, new country, coming from someone in the electronic music world, it's too repetitive. It's the same.
That's so funny for somebody to say that comes from electronic music though. Listening to techno.
Yeah, that all day. But if I have to hear the same story of I mean, I'm certainly generalizing, a tractor, a broken heart, and Bud Light, I'm gonna stop.
Oh my god.
All I can think of is Bo Burnham's Pander.
Pander? Is that a stand-up special?
No, it's a song he did.
Oh, okay.
Or pandering, and it's done in the form of country music, and it's all about pandering to blue collar workers.
Oh my god, yeah, I think dude, I would kind of have to say the same. Like, as much as I'd like to say that I enjoy all music, I'd say country is pretty much up there, like on the kinds of music that you won't really find me listening to. There's few exceptions, like, and it's not even really country. Have you heard of Mel Washington, who's here in town, who's a really good friend of mine? He's such a good country artist. Like, that's like a true exception for me. But have you heard of Big Wet?
No.
Big Wet. He did song. Have you heard of Branches?
Nope.
So Branches and Big Wet, they did some stuff together, and it's sort of like EDM country. Like, to say it's EDM country, it's sort of like, yeah, it's kind of like EDM country, like on the trappier side. And they've got some good ones, and you would just have to hear it, dude. It's like, I'll even pull it up right now, just so I can show you, dude. What would be the best one to show you? Probably Turn Up on the Weekend was like the first one. Turn Up on the Weekend, Branches.
Now, this is something that's probably got to be edited out on when you release it, this video.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
You got the...
It doesn't do that for podcasts.
No?
No, it doesn't. So, pretty much...
Cooler full of cold ones,
Roasted out Chevy,
steaks over charcoal.
and the game is on the TV.
I was going to say telly.
I ain't got a swimsuit, sure as hell gonna jump in. Another shot of Cuervo, turn up on the weekend. Turn up on the weekend, turn up on the weekend.
Cold beer,
Fresh deer, all in the bed of my truck. Ride home down 11 with a real nice haul, cause you know my boys can.
I think the hi-hat's coming right here. Oh no.
Get high, put on the new Levi's. Walk in the bar, feel like rock stars. We got all the ladies high.
Oh, this is the hi-hats.
Till the DJ put on a fast one.
That's the producer.
Top 45 to shorty, get my groove.
One of my favorite things is always trying to find the producer of music videos. He's always the one that is just in the background, awkward. It's just,
Yeah,
I feel like it sums up producers.
I'm just sitting on the side of this truck doing this with my hand. I'm just gonna sit here.
It's I get it. I get it.
Yeah, they got other ones that are like better than that. Like,
I mean,
that one's so simple.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna being a person of music. I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. I appreciate it. I personally don't like it.
Yeah.
One of my biggest pet peeves probably is whenever someone says that song sucks or that song's bad, and it's like, no, you just don't like it.
Yeah.
You just don't like it.
Yeah, just say you don't like it. That's almost ignorance then.
Yeah.
You know, or naiveness, ignorance. So
Yeah, it's just like, no, like, I get it. You don't enjoy it. You enjoy this, but that doesn't make, just because you don't enjoy it doesn't make it less than.
Yeah, and it's funny because we live here in the South, and as much as the South is like stereotyped to be lovers of country music, there's still so many people here that just really don't care about country music.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I do enjoy bluegrass.
Oh, okay, well,
I don't like
bluegrass
country.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted, y'all. Like, bluegrass is like more folky. Yeah.
I like bluegrass. I like folk music. I just don't like country.
Oh my god.
It's just it's more, I feel like it's just more so on the reason I don't really like pop music either.
What
is top 40?
What do you think is like the most annoying sounding instrument?
Most annoying sounding instrument.
Outside of the recorder.
I think recorder's wearing it. That's difficult.
Ooh, I think I already know which one I think is the most annoying.
Go for it.
I need to hear yours first.
I got no idea.
Dude, I mean, you know that there's a very specific, think about it a little bit more. You know, I'm trying to channel you this instrument.
If you're talking about that like Willowask thing, that's like the electromagnetic field. Have you ever seen that instrument?
It sounds sort of like a theremin almost, or what?
Maybe. I don't know the actual name of it, but it's like a box with like an antenna coming out and like a receiver and just interfering with those electrical fields to create sound. I'd rather listen to that than the recorder.
It's like the depth of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Rather listen to that than a recorder.
yeah, so anybody that doesn't know, it's such a weird instrument that it's got to be one of the most useless instruments of the theremin. It's like it emits a frequency, and yeah, like you said, you interfere with the frequency. It's got like echolocation to it, so it knows how close, say, your hand is to its antenna. So it's like the closer your hand is to the thing, like the higher pitch I think it will be, and it just exists on it's just a gliding note. Like it's not like a guitar where you got to choose one note or the other. It's just woo, woo. But okay, I think the most annoying instrument to me, it's got to be the bagpipe.
Oh, I love the bagpipe.
Why?
Cause it's I mean it's rough to start up, but like you get at least like 5 of them. It's fantastic, especially like because there's so like much power behind it, so much power, and like and plus this might just be a Northeast thing.
Does the instrument come with a skirt, a kilt?
No, but most often people go pantsless regardless.
Like why you gotta be wearing a skirt when you're playing bagpipe?
It's the heritage, man.
Like Scottish, I get it. Like
Scottish,
why?
Irish.
Why? Like just I've got nothing wrong with people wearing whatever clothes they want to, so don't get me wrong.
Hey, men were wearing dresses here in the United. Well, I mean, men still are wearing dresses.
Hey, I wear the tightest pants. I don't get me wrong. I've cross-dressed. I remember wearing my sister's pants when I was in high school, dude.
It's the pattern you hate. I get it. Same reason I don't like flannels.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's a flannel around your waist.
Yeah.
Oh my god! It was either like for me, it was between the bagpipe or the accordion. That one's kind of annoying sounding. It's just like, I don't know why. It's
sounds like someone hyperventilating.
yeah, like I don't know. It just doesn't sound like I've used accordion in a few of my productions, but it's I don't know, man. It's just
I will say both those instruments, if it's played by the right person, it can be beautiful.
yeah. You know, one of the more amazing instruments that I've seen people pull off is just like glasses that are filled with water at different levels, and you just you give them like a little you give them a little rim job, and you just
with your finger.
you have to the job is to caress the rim of this glass.
It must be crystal, correct?
Something, I don't know. It doesn't have to. It might. Whatever can resonate. Wine glasses can resonate. I don't know if all those are crystal, but
yeah, most are.
Yeah.
I think it has to be crystal because it causes that reverberation. Recently saw a very interesting thing about this cave they discovered. I forget where it is, but it's like you essentially spelunk so deep into it that these crystals are just growing out, and they resonate. Well, one, you can't stand there longer than like 15 minutes without like breathing and like ventilation and like cooling, because the humidity in there is literally 100%, and so like you can't sweat because it's so humid.
That's weird. You can't sweat?
Yeah, because the humidity is so damp that moisture doesn't form because it's already there.
That's
so you can't cool
weird.
yourself out, so you'll pass out in 15 minutes. But
Oh
also,
my god, that's trippy.
the resonation within there, just by the crystal's existence, I guess, there's just a constant like hum.
Weird. It's kind of spooky. It makes me think about, dude, I just noticed that your hat is like a Roswell hat with like the alien head on it, which is a really cool hat, by the way. I actually got this patch from Asheville recently, and it's a Roswell, New Mexico one that I'm gonna I'm gonna sew it onto a hat. I
love the Sasquatch one.
Yeah, the Sasquatch one I did the other day. I got
Squatchy.
I got this patch from the same shop, and I just sewed it onto the hat. It's Squatchy, almost like Smokey the bear, but Squatchy the Sasquatch. He's out here upholding all of our forests without us knowing. Sasquatch.
He's keeping us safe.
He tends to the forest and does things that you don't know about because they're just out here holding up the forest, like all underrated and stuff. But I wanted to ask you what your thoughts on aliens are.
I think it goes along the lines of my beliefs on everything. I truly believe there's a possibility that everything can happen. Likelihood of it is different, but I certainly believe there is life extraterrestrially and even possibly subterraneally, like in the oceans and stuff like that.
Me too.
I believe, again, going back to would you rather be naive or ignorant, I'd rather be naive, but I am neither of them. I believe there's a possibility that I would not want to be ignorant in that sense of like, oh, it's never going to happen, and then like we get invaded.
Yeah. I gotta say, one of my most irrational fears, part 2, would pretty much be like getting abducted by an alien and just full-fledged probed, dude, just taken to the showers. But two questions to piggyback off of the alien, whether or not you believe in aliens, is first off, have you seen any UFOs or anything weird, even like a ghost or Sasquatch or whatever? And then also, what kind of music do you think aliens listen to music? And if so, if they were to listen to music, what kind of genre style of music do you think aliens would listen to?
It might be nepotism, but I think they listen to electronic music. Just blasting techno as they're flying through space.
Yo, like with the dankest subs like built into their UFO.
But it's so well constructed that the ship doesn't shake. It just you just feel the power of the bass. I believe I saw something in Myrtle. It was quick, and it was just basically like a light that was in the sky that just moved away it shouldn't have. Like it just kind of went like that. It was gone. And it was like, okay. I mean, that could be a firefly in a distant. I don't know. But I did have one odd experience when I was younger in my house. I was the only person in the house. I was in my parents' room watching TV. And the doorknob to the bedroom twisted and released. But no one was in the house. Like, I opened up the door and no one was in the house.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's weird, dude.
I have friends who have had much more serious paranormal experiences that, like, their siblings can account for because they were there for some of them, that their friends can account for. And so, like, I've had, not in the sense of, like, this is more so in the dream state. On my mom's, the passing of both her sister and her father, the night before they passed, they had visited her on 2 separate occasions.
The night before they passed. Oh my gosh, like, that's
and
crazy.
Told her everything's gonna be okay.
Weird.
Then, yeah. So I am a firm believer in paranormal things. I don't just, again, don't want to be naive or ignorant and be like, oh, that's not real. It's like, to you haven't experienced it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's something to be said about it. It's weird, dude. Yeah, I remember one time I had a funky experience along those lines where I was planning to pick up these lamps right here in my room, like the ones behind us and the one in that corner, from this place off somebody's house off Craigslist. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, yeah, I like those lamps. Like, I'll get them in the morning when I wake up. I'll hit the person up off Craigslist and get them. And so then I went to sleep and I had a dream about my aunt that had recently passed, and it was one of those really lucid dreams, because I've been visited by my deceased loved ones in my dreams, which is super trippy. And it's super lucid when it happens, and like I just remember seeing her, and like I think it was some, like, my grandparents too might have been there as well. And then it was one of those dreams where you wake up and you're like, dude, that was like a weird dream, and it, like, something that you just don't forget. And then so I went to pick up the lamps from Craigslist, and it was from the house that she passed away in. Somebody else had moved in and they were selling these lamps.
That's
weird.
wild.
Yeah, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to spitball something else. Is there anything you just want to say in general, like, now that you're on a podcast, that you just want to, like, just say, just because? Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Don't write things off.
don't write things off, y'all.
Keep your, keep the belief that anything is possible in your mind, because anything is possible. If you believe it, it's easier to become a reality. But there definitely goes more into faith, of putting it all in, kind of thing.
So what's something that you don't have that you want, like, more than anything, like, outside of money? Like, just think about what that money could buy, like, and it'd be one thing, like, oh, like, you know, a big house, or like, oh, maybe a cat, or or like, I want a fully furnished studio. Or I just want a can of yams, dude. That's it. Like,
I want to enjoy sweet potatoes.
That's just the thing. I hate that I hate sweet potatoes.
I just want to enjoy them.
Yes.
Why? I don't know. I personally don't care about money. I understand the importance of money. I understand that it is a fabric of our society that you must adhere to. So
you don't want money?
I don't want
money.
Well,
good, because that wasn't one thing that you could choose from in the premise of this question.
I don't want a big house.
Well, then what do you want?
All I want is to be able to survive off making music.
That's so cool.
That's it. Like, anything after that, that's relish. That's a topping.
You'll hear that's really kindred and sweet, man.
I honestly, like, I
well, you can do it.
I just want to survive off money. I just want to be able to live comfortably off money. And after that, I'm going to give everything I don't need back into bettering in as many ways as I possibly can.
That's amazing, dude. Very philanthropic, sort of a headspace.
Yeah. What about you, man?
One thing that I don't have that I do want, maybe better skills and drills. Not actual drills, but like
right now I got DeWalt, I got Milwaukee.
Decker, Milwaukee. Trying to tell you some stuff from back in the day.
Yeah.
A little. Oh my God. Yeah, I want better. I want my skills to be better for the things that I do. Mm-hmm. That's one of the things that I truly desire. As well as a nice house for me and my lady and our puppy. Mm-hmm. I would like that. As that's like the one materialistic thing that I do want that I don't have, and the one unmaterialistic thing that I don't have that I do want is being able to be that much better at what I do, like be able to play the guitar quicker, or like produce better, like to increase my skills and drills. I'd have to say that's it for me. What's your we talked about what your least favorite food is. What is your most favorite food?
Fried chicken.
Really? Like,
that was the first thing I asked when I moved here.
Like from KFC? Or is that gross to you?
I mean, if it's all I got at the moment, yeah, I'll eat KFC.
Where do you go to get fried chicken? Like when you, like Publix?
Honestly, no. I honestly like Harris Teeter's more.
Shout out Harris Teeter, but fuck you for not being 24/7 anymore in Charleston.
Ruined it. But Sundays, they typically have a deal where you can get a full bucket for like $7. Grab that. But there's a restaurant in Mount Pleasant, a Chinese restaurant called Golden Bowl. If you look it up on Google, it's Golden Bowl, no MSG. Best chicken wings you're going to have. Best chicken wings. But fried chicken is sometimes, if it's buffalo chicken, if it's just fried chicken, I love fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
Dude, that's just straight to the point. Yo, you're in the right place for fried chicken, Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm. If you have any recommendations, send them my way, please. I want to try all the fried chicken I possibly can.
DM him. It's official Noahfriends on Instagram.
Yes, I need as much fried chicken as I can get.
Where's that recipe? We need the best. What is your favorite song right now?
Like current release or just in
just
general?
right now, like what song are you just like really into?
Down on?
Like right now, like what's like one that you just like can't get enough of?
I can't get enough of. I don't know. I have ADD, so like I don't like rewatching TV shows, movies, re-listening to music. I like hearing something new, even if it's something I've heard before. I just like if I listen to it yesterday, I don't want to listen to it today.
Well, what is the song that you are most inclined to listen to right now?
Oh Devil, like Electric Guest.
Electric Guest. I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
So I'm gonna have to check that out. What is your favorite artist right now then?
Favorite artist right now?
Is it Electric Guest or is it somebody else?
Well, I mean, Daft Punk is always gonna be number one. Like,
it can't be the same answer as a previous answer.
They are the only people I would fanboy over.
Yeah.
Like I've met other people from other jobs and like shook their hand and be like, oh, like you're awesome, like I love you. I wouldn't be able to contain myself if I met Daft Punk. I would rush in for a hug.
Good. Yeah. You would make security worried.
Yes. They are the only ones that I would like lose my shit over.
Okay, so Daft Punk is your favorite artist.
Mm-hmm.
That's solid, man. That's solid. I can respect that. What do you think like the worst job in the world is?
Worst job. Probably anyone who has to deal with septic. Easily.
Like, yes, you could say that. That's a very easy one. That's like the very first one I pretty much thought of, where I was like, yeah, like I don't want to have to deal with like anybody else's poo.
Literally.
Yeah, but there's some jobs that are way more dangerous than that. That could be
I don't
worse.
think danger is worse. Because like like I'd rather climb a 200-foot tower than go literally into someone's fecal matter.
Oh my god, dude. It makes me think about how I remember one of the jobs, no, what am I saying? And when I was in like middle school, I think it was, we had a field trip to, it was in Mount Pleasant, it was the place called Clean Water. And that's like the water sanitization. Yeah, dude. So we went there. That place smells like ass.
Yes.
It just smells Like dude, like from a mile away, just pure ass. Like,
Yeah.
dude, when you get up close, I was like, worst field trip ever.
They didn't even give you like nose plugs or anything. They just like,
Dude, no nose plugs were given out. No, you had to. They were like, hey, you better do good in school.
yeah, it's like,
No.
if you enjoy this, there's a science to this.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'd rather do so much more than be waist deep in someone's doo doo.
Yeah, I just think about other jobs, like first ones that come to mind is things like being an underwater photographer of sharks that free dives.
That's a death wish.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to free dive.
No, you don't. But the only reason I think of that too is because you don't have to. But I recently met this guy that did just that, and he was so happy with his life.
Yeah.
And he did great work. All of his pictures came out amazing. But I was like, you're clinically insane.
Well, I mean, at least there's like a beauty behind that.
I mean, at least, but the beauty of it the ultimate, no, like, you could get eaten at any second. You could, like, he's very close to these deadly
get a bacterial
sharks.
infection in someone's doo-doo.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably...
Like, at least, like, there's an art. It's like, you get to see all these beautiful things while you're deep diving next to sharks. This, you're standing in shit. You're standing in a waist-deep shit. Like, where's the beauty in that?
Oh, my God. Like, oh, my God. The person that has to, Okay, have you heard of the life straw?
The life straw?
So a life straw is a survival product.
Oh, yes, the water purification, right?
So it's just a straw that has like this filter of sorts inside of it, and apparently you can basically put it down into like a river and sip out the river and just be like, okay, I'm getting hydrated. Like if you're literally about to die of dehydration or something, that's why it's called the life straw. But the person that had to actually test that product out, that might be one of the worst jobs too, because having to test the life straw would have to be like one of the worst jobs, because on the cover of like the packaging, it's like the dude is like sitting there with like a life straw. He's like laying down next to some sort of like sewer hole thing that just looks like shit water. It just looks like shit water, and he's drinking that.
Yeah, that guy specifically, because like you have to, for that photo, be near the nastiest thing to show how great of a product it is.
Yes, but you can't even safely endorse that until you are the person that tests out, hey, can I drink out of a sewer with a life straw, and have to make sure that you're okay. That might be one of the worst jobs in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but enough about the worst jobs. Best job?
Best job. Well, I mean,
Full-time musician?
Yeah. Full-time producer. That would definitely be the best job. Personally, I think that goes without saying. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think it's safe to say that. What's one of your favorite TV shows right now?
Right now, I'm dying to watch the second episode of Secret Invasion, the Marvel. I'm a big superhero person, whether it's DC or Marvel. I give every single movie that comes out a chance.
Dude,
every TV show.
Speaking of, have you watched The Boys?
Love it.
Oh my God, it's such a good one.
It's
dude.
fantastic.
It's crazy.
Especially how much I enjoy like superheroes and enjoy the cinematic presentations that they do in some of the cringy parts of like Marvel movies or DC movies, where it's just like there was a better way to approach that. The Boys perfectly parodies it, where it's like they show the cringiness of how these corporate people are like, we need to get this message across, and do the worst way of delivering it, and then in the show the actual great way of delivering that message just through good writing.
Dude, yeah, because that's well said. I never was really into superhero stuff like that hardcore, but I had somebody tell me to watch that show, and I was like, all right, like, we'll see, like, real life superheroes, like, the reality of, like, if superheroes actually existed in real life, like, what, like, and that, like, people depend on them for, like, the safety, like, above cops.
Yeah, they weren't, like, perfect, like, because we watch these, like, superhero movies, they're starting to get better at it, but like when we were first presented these superhero movies, they were like very like, these are the perfect people, like they are perfectly settled inside, they know always to make the right decision, it's like they just know how to do it right, and that's what makes them superheroes. And it's like this shows the reality of it. It's like, no, these are people that have been given abilities. They're not always going to be, they might do what's best for society, but like that's not how reality is. There isn't a perfect answer every single time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, you see the flaws of these superheroes behind closed doors and all that stuff. No spoiler alerts, but yeah. But you're saying, like, mostly, like, DC, or what was the name of the show again that you can't wait to see episode 2 of?
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, and that's based around what superhero?
It's Marvel, so it's not really about superheroes. It's about this race of shape-shifting aliens called Skrulls, that a sector of them, or a group of them, so basically they lost their planet and are looking for a new home, and under a department, one person is looking to help them find a new home for them, and like it's because of certain events it's been prolonged, and like a resolution hasn't been made yet, and some of the Skrulls are getting antsy, rightfully so. They've been living on a spaceship for decades, and it's like, we just want to settle and have our own place. That they start to take things into their own hands, and their solution is to eradicate Earth of humans so that they can take over. So, but with their shape-shifting ability, have the ability to really basically put on a lot of psychops, like on the human race. So humans think it's just we're naturally falling apart, when in reality it's a group of people that are purposely trying to destroy humanity.
That's crazy, because it's like almost like Black Mirror-ish, like where it's like there's some believability to the reality of that. Like, you know, you look at society and you're like, you know, you can look at it a bunch of different ways, be like, dude, it's just like, it's just funny, like, yeah, I just see it like Black Mirror-ish, man, where it just kind of psychs you out on, like, could this be going on? Like,
and that's kind of why I like superhero, like, comic book stuff, like, is because they do a great way of telling stories that, like, are serious issues within our society, but, like, we can't really talk about kind of things. And, like, so, like, X-Men is a great one of, like, what do they call it? Like, kind of like when anyone is like a second-class citizen, or like things of like racism and stuff like that, where it shows like they're still human, but because they're genetically different, they're less than or a threat to this gene. And like it perfectly discuss these topics of like how bad it can go, how like foul it can get, but how we can also resolve these issues. But they do it in a landscape of like, oh, this is science fiction. Like,
so 2 piggyback questions to the superhero thing. What superpower would you have if you could only choose one? And then also, if all of the superheroes that everybody's made up were to just be put in a brawl against each other, an all-out melee, who would win?
Supervillains as well involved?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Superheroes and supervillains
Yeah.
were all in one thing. That's a tough question. If done properly, if executed properly, Rogue probably wouldn't have a bad chance. She would probably do well.
Rogue is an X-Men chick.
Yeah, she essentially has the ability to like take what is someone's like essence, their soul, their being, which accompanies their power, their ability as well, through physical touch. So like some of these characters who are like regenerative or essentially like immortal, like she can take that away from them and they can die on the spot just through physical. But she also has to be close enough to physically touch them.
Yeah,
that's the only drawback.
Without them knowing.
But then you also have people like Jean Grey who are just psychokinetic and all these.
Is he an X-Men?
She was an X-Men.
She was.
She just has everything from the ability to read minds to like kinetic, like psychokinetically, like move things and like in masses. She could like crush an earth if she wanted. But then I don't know.
Dang, dude. So then, what superpower would you have?
I would love that.
Psychokinetic abilities?
Yeah, I would love to like be able to lift things with my mind. I think that would be it, because that would involve myself as well. If I can lift objects, there's no reason I can't lift myself, so then I have the ability to fly. So
that's such a cheap shot. Yeah, like it's not really just being able to fly.
It's not like, fly. My ability isn't flying. It's I can lift myself up with my mind.
You can lift things up with your mind. Two different things. Like Superman, he can fly, but he can't really move things around with his mind. No.
And originally in the comics, he wasn't able to fly. He was just able to jump really far.
Really?
Yeah. And
like
then
really
later,
far, being like.
Yeah. He used to jump from what they would say is from building to building.
Okay, like that.
Massively, like the Hulk would be able to, where like he can just travel miles, like just by a jump, a leap. But like with the way physics is, he can jump so much into the atmosphere that he can be within the orbit and he's flying and then lands. But then it got adapted into he can fly. It changed shortly after.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
I'm a nerd.
Yo, I'm a nerd, I love that though. I love that about you. It really gets you to thinking about like, it just teaches you creativity, like the landscapes of all those like animes and comic books is like just how far you can bend your imagination.
What's the biggest thing you nerd out on?
Biggest thing I nerd out on is like, might be a few things, but lately it's been guitar, where I've just been sitting there and just trying to nerd out with like making cooler riffs and being better at that. But outside of that, like I definitely nerd out on podcasts and weird podcasts. Like I love podcasts about cryptids or like aliens. Probably nerd out the most on all that, like just weird stuff, like Sasquatch, aliens, paranormal things. That's definitely a big obsession of mine. For I don't even know why. Probably just because I've seen so many weird things in my life. Makes me want to. Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. That's probably number 2 with like superheroes and whatnot, is like if I'm not watching something that's superhero, I'm watching the show called Paranormal Activity Caught on Cam.
Okay, I think I've seen that.
I think it's on like the Travel Channel, and it's just people submit videos, and they just play these video capturings of just paranormal things that don't congrue with normality. So like a light in the sky that's moving the way it shouldn't, or like something massive in the forest that walks by. It's like,
yeah,
or like
stuff spooks me out.
Yeah, they like there is stuff that you're like, yeah, it could be that, but like knowing this area, it's not that. Knowing the area we're in, it's not that. It's knowing the time of day, it's not that. But we can't tell you what it is. We just know that this normally doesn't happen, and that's what makes it paranormal.
Exactly. Yeah, that it's like I'm like so interested in it, but then like I wouldn't want to experience it. Yeah, like why?
Yeah.
Why is that? It doesn't make sense. Why am I so obsessed with like paranormal things? But like it would be like one of the last things that I'd want to experience. It's because like I'm so curious on like what makes that happen, like the whole thing around the afterlife, and like, you know, seeing loved ones in dreams and ghosts and ghouls, things like, yeah, dude, I'm just so intrigued.
Yeah. I think it's that fact that like you believe that it's a reality that makes you not want to experience, because you know how sour it can go. You've seen and witnessed like how like you can come across an entity, and it might not be malicious, it might just be a turn of a doorknob, but like you've also heard and seen of things where it's like it's throwing things around the house.
Yeah,
and like that can be dangerous.
Like a poltergeist has got to be one of my top irrational fears too. Experiencing a poltergeist, like that's just so messed up. Like it's one of those things where you're like, how is that even like a thing? Is it real? Like you see things where it's like you literally couldn't make it, like it'd be impossible to like video shop or like edit a video to be like all these things. Like I've seen some weird videos, man, and some just really weird things. Like, oh, like there was this house that was like super possessed, I think, that these people were trying to get out of, and the dude was like taking some videos, and like you were able to see like from, it was like he was trying to film the kitchen where I think a bunch of things were flying out of like cabinets. Just like, bruh, I'd haul ass so fast I wouldn't even like, I'd be too scared to even like bust out a video camera.
Yeah.
But like
Last thing I'm doing is staying.
you see this, it could be fake, but like you see this head that's like popping from the top down to the bottom, like of a doorway. Like imagine if somebody was attached. Like imagine if somebody was attached to the ceiling with their head cranked down upside down, looking at you upside down from the top of a. Bruh, I saw that and I was just like, no waysies, dude. I would just burn the camera in the house and like
get out of there.
Yeah, dude, I can't go for that, man.
And it's unfortunate because some of these people that experience these like things, it's like they can't get out, they can't leave, they're stuck in the lease. Like they experience it and they're just like, I have nowhere to go, like, and like I either have to just stick through it and hope for the best, quite literally, or like crash in my car.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was thinking too. I'm like, dude, if they don't have a car though, that sucks. Cause yeah.
But it reminds me the other night after event this past Saturday that we threw. I was dropping off the subwoofers at my buddy's warehouse, and it took me the weirdest way. Like it just told me to bang a left, and so I did, and I go down, and then like the buildings start ending, and like this cemetery just got like appearing, and it's like 3 a.m, and I'm like, no, this is this is not where I want to be right now. Like this is like, I just like, as cool as it would be to see it and be like, I knew it was true, I don't want to see it. I don't want to like have like an apparition like appear in front of me.
Yeah, no.
Or in my backseat. There's this lore of this road from where I grew up, called the Red-Headed Hitchhiker, and it was on this route that goes through Seekonk and Rehoboth, and at a certain point, at a certain time, people would drive down, and then they would see a red-headed hitchhiker, and then when they would look in their back mirror, he would be in the back seat. He
Oh,
would no longer be on the
no.
side of the road. And
No,
it's
no,
like,
no.
I don't want to experience that, because like even if like the ghost not making physical contact or anything, that's enough for me to whip my car off the road and possibly get into an accident.
It reminds me of like one of the weirdest nights of my life. I was on the way down to go DJ this festival in Florida called Zen Awakening, and I had one of my most invasive like UFO experiences on the way down there, and I ended up after like all that happened, I was just trying to like, you know, not be too weirded out just in general. So I'm like in Florida and I'm trying to hold on. So I'm in Florida and I'm trying to make it to the venue, and the address that I have brought me down to this like, it was like a cul-de-sac, and there was pretty much nothing. It was a spooky cul-de-sac, middle of the night, and in between the two houses on the end was this like dirt road thing, and I was like, I guess I have to drive down this dirt road, and it was like into a spooky cornfield of sorts. Dude, I mean, the fact that I had the wrong address, apparently it moved to a different location and they didn't update the address, so I'm now having just seen like a UFO super up close like earlier on this drive. I'm like now in this spooky cornfield, and like it was so long, and like what made it long was that I couldn't drive that fast because the road was so dirty and crappy. Like I couldn't mess up my car. Like it was like that bad, and I'm just like, dude, this is like right where something happens. This is something like, dude, and it was just like,
get me out of here.
I'm like, where is this going? Yeah, like where am I? How long is this road? And it seemed to last forever, and I finally got to the end of it, and it led me out onto a road. And so I took a left-hand turn onto the road, and I was like, finally a paved road that's not like, word, I'm good. And looking in my rear view mirror, and like when I'm trying to tell you I saw a pair of headlights rolling up on my car at like 200 miles an hour, I almost wrecked my car so that I wouldn't get hit. And all of a sudden I'm like, dude, this car's gonna nail me, something bad's gonna happen. Like it was so weird, and I almost wrecked. And then I'm like sitting there waiting to see this car go by, being like, what's the hurry? Is it a cop like in a rush? There was nothing. And I was like, this is the weirdest night of my life. So weird, dude.
Oh,
can't make it up. It actually happened, dude, and like nobody else was there to like witness it, so it's just
when
like
it happens, right?
You know what I mean? Like
when you're most vulnerable and no one can account.
Exactly. That's when the weird things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, dang, how long have we been talking now? Let's see.
A few hours. I gotta head out.
It's been about an hour and a half, dude. Well, you know what? I think we got to know each other a little bit more through this podcast.
Yeah.
And I think our listeners got to know a little bit more about you through this podcast as well. Y'all stay tuned for our song coming out next week on the 4th of July, 2023.
Tuesday.
It's called Back to the Basics.
Back to the Basics.
And it's like a smooth house song. Look forward to that. And we got another song that we're going to be releasing that we're working on right now.
Yeah.
It'll be coming out soon. But yeah, once again, Noahfriends, you can find them online. Noah, Noahfriends. And is there anything you want to say as you head out of here?
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the support. Pre-save that song.
Pre-save. We'll have the link.
And I hope you thoroughly enjoy it. Until next time.
Amen. Well, that concludes the 28th episode of the Pursuit of Sound with Dblcrwn podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, like Noah said. And yeah, be on the lookout for this to drop on YouTube with the full video and Spotify with the full video. And I think we're on Anchor FM as well. also Google Podcasts, and yeah, so you already know what it is. Love y'all. Peace.
Love you.
So there's